Hi everyone and welcome to Tarot again with combination cards with the Empress today. The Empress, we did the Empress the other day, the big card, the Empress, all on its own, going through the meanings and some of the feelings of what the description of the symbology of the Rider-Waite based Empress card is actually all about. So if you missed that, you can go back and watch it. Here we have our beautiful Empress. The Empress is a card of abundance. It's a card of nurture. It's a card of value. It's a card of fertility. And it's a card of growth. So many things. Which one applies? Let's make it easy. Last week, I suggested that we looked at the self and a question that somebody was actually hypothetically asking the answers to. I said, let's look at a career. Let's do that again, but this time, instead of looking at the person that's actually having the reading, let's look at the influences of others. So when we're actually looking at these two cards together, let's say that the person says, I want to know about my career and I want to know about the background effects involved and what people think of me. Let's say it's that right through tonight's tutorial. It'll keep it nice and simple. In that position, what do they think of me and what's the influences around the Empress? Because you've got the Five of Swords. They think that you're somebody that's very giving, but they're also seeing that there are some problems. And those problems and those struggles are that of communication. How do we know that? It's the Sword family, and that's all about speech, communication. This is a work question, so this isn't a love reading. This is telling us that the outside influences, they're struggling. They like you, but they're struggling to go a little bit further with you, feeling that maybe there's some boundaries here and that maybe there's some more value to you, but they haven't quite got there yet. So at this stage in the journey, it's a bit of a mock battle. It could also be seen that an aspect of the Empress, because you've got the Five of Swords, can sometimes go into conflict. And Five of Swords, of course, is a card that can sometimes make us feel that those mock battles can be dragging us down, that we don't know who to trust. You know, Five of Swords, always a struggle when you get the number 5. Why? Because it's a midway point. You're neither at the beginning nor are you at completion. And somewhere along the line, you will get to a certain point where you are in the midst of trying to go beyond that stage, trying to navigate beyond that. But we know that this is to do with communication because it's swords. So let's just change that second card. We'll go on to the next one. Six of Swords. What do they think of me at work? They value you and they feel that you're making progress and that you're helping other people. How do we know that? Look at the Six of Swords. It's about actually working with maybe the ferryman there. Maybe they identify the Empress, the person having the reading, as that person that helps others. Or maybe they feel that they're doing better now because they've had some help and they've come out of difficult times. Can you see that when you start to add a card with the original card, it's completely changing everything? Another one. What do they think of me at work? What's going on here? People around feel that sometimes you are the victim of your own wrongdoings, as in when it comes again to communication, or they feel that maybe you restrict yourself, that you don't actually go for it. You are somebody that feels that you're not valuing yourself. They're thinking that about you. They're thinking, you're not valuing yourself, so why should I? What do they think of me at work? Eight of Swords. These people are thinking that there are some challenges, but I will tell you that Eight of Swords is always a card that has moved on from the Two of Swords. Now, if you remember the Two of Swords, let's flick back to that one. Two of Swords. Not being able to see clearly, not being able to think straight, not being in a position to be able to make your mind up, weighing up the odds. But this person's strong. They're strong mentally. Look at the stance of our figure in the Two of Swords. That takes a lot of strength to be able to hold up two swords like that, and they're not, look at those swords, they're not drooping, if it was me up, flopping. They're not drooping at all. There is mental strength, but they're not making a decision. They're lost. They're not able to actually work out what it is they need to do next. So the problems here are this person's not valuing themselves, and they are not. They're caught between wanting to call a truce with themselves and value themselves. They are neither one thing nor the other, neither Arthur or Martha, as I would say, in their communication, in their mental awareness of the workplace. If we look at this, if that person doesn't deal with that, it becomes more and more and more restricted. So the Eight of Swords is always that somebody didn't deal with the Two of Swords, that indecisiveness, early on enough. So what's happened then, when we get to that Eight of Swords, they have become a victim in their mind because of indecision. And they could easily escape. They've got all this growth. The Empress is there. They need to value themselves. They need to be smart. They need to grow. But mentally, they're holding themselves back or trussed up. But again, look, the blindfold's there. So again, they're not seeing clearly. And the energy's got much, much worse. The Empress is about growth. It's about fertility. And it's about the fact that this person does have that mental capacity, but they are getting in their own way. They're doubting themselves. They can't make a decision. So they're flaky. And what do you do when somebody says to you, I just don't know? You end up feeling that you're in a place where the communication is restricted. They feel that that person is a victim of their own circumstances, and they're feeling they're indecisive and they're getting in their own way. And it's to do with the way they're thinking. It's to do with the way that they are communicating. So it's so, come on, you can help yourself. And if you were that person that's having the reading and you get this, and that's what other people are thinking about you at work, you would know that they want to see you to actually cut away the victim mode, to actually start making a decision and to call a truce with yourself and actually go, you know what, I'm going to go for this. We know that the Eight of Swords can do this. Look, she's only got to step very carefully behind and use the sword to cut away the binds that bind her. And then she'll have her arms free. Then she'll be able to take off the blindfold. Then she'll be able to make sure that she doesn't step into the water, which could actually be deeper than it appears. Might be a swamp, maybe quicksand, who knows. But she's able to get out of it. And the colours in these cards are very passionate. Orange is a colour of passion, and it means that there is drive and there is determination to actually be good to yourself. Really is a colour of being good to you. This person's got capabilities, and others can see that. That's why they view you as the Empress. They think you're kind, they think you're gentle, they think you're getting your own way. Now we're really going to spice it up. A court card. I know, everybody goes at crumbs. Court cards, what do we do with those? We've got the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords, again, linked to communication because it's swords. And it's also linked to the astrological sign, Aquarius. And Aquarius is our social skills, and it's about our principles, and it's about our ideals, and it's about our hopes, and it's about our wishes when it comes to tarot and in the 11th house. So here, this person's actually going, you've got principles and ideas, you're very nurturing, but it needs to develop. That's what a page is. It's an experience. You need to go beyond the stage. And the Page of Swords is always linked to Mercury in retrograde. So if you think of it as, this is always the last to know. This is always the card of actually, it's late, it's delayed, I didn't know that, why didn't you say so? It's also a card of gossips. Maybe people think a bit gossipy with the wrong people. You are valued, but hold on a minute. You've got to prove yourself here by acting in an adult and serious manner. combination here changes. What's a wonderful card? The Empress. When it's actually got that nuanced feel to it by feeding the energy of another card, i.e. the minor card, and you fuse them together, it tells you a lot. And it also depends on the position and the question. Never be scared to ask your client, what would you like to know? But let me tell you, where I have described the outside influences in the spread of others is also in the spread. It combines, it's the emotions. So we're getting the emotions. What do people feel about you? So it's a combination of the emotions of what people feel, but we're also being told what they think. Why? Because we've got swords. So we are getting a lot of information, A, from the position, and also B, from that minor card, instead of just going, oh yeah, this is really good. Let's try another couple. All right, I'm going to move beyond the swords. What about this one? If we were in a position to say that we had got this pair, the Empress and the Two of Cups, and this was somebody saying, what do they think of me at work? And we are looking at what others think. And the question is, at work, so put all that together, and we get this as a pair. It actually looks really lovely, doesn't it? Two of Cups. You could be forgiven for thinking that it's romantic, all right? It may be, but we'd need to look further ahead in the spread to see what development the Two of Cups would make. And by that, it's like, does this develop? Does this grow from the Two of Cups to maybe the Three of Cups to maybe the fact that we get the Nine of Cups or the 10 of Cups, or it becomes a court card or serious King of Cups, or no gender engendered there, Queen of Cups, serious matters. So maybe, but that's why putting all your cards out at once, you're able to see what's going on, and you don't just deal with it one at a time. Reading your cards, as in when you put your spread out, it's a bit like, I used to be a driving instructor, and it's a bit like teaching somebody to read the road ahead. And it's no good just watching the number plate or the bumper of the vehicle that's ahead of you down the road. You want to be looking as far ahead as the eye can see into the vanishing point. And if you are able to do that, you are going to then be able to see lots of zones of vision that's coming in from the periphery, from this point to this point. That's what I suggest you do with your reading, so that you're able to go, crikey, what's this looking like? If you start and go, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Oh, that's all changed, that one now, because when I look here, you want to look at the whole thing, put the whole thing out, and thank you for your time. I'm just putting the spread out. I'll be as quick as I can. I need to tune in. Quickly look ahead and see what's happening. You're looking for things to grow. You're looking for the Two of Cups to actually become more. Is it going to be serious? Let's say it doesn't become more. And let's go back to what this actually probably means. Work. What does it mean? It means people like you. You are very well liked. And emotionally, they feel that from you. There's a friendship, a strong friendship. How do we know that? Look at the symbology. Yeah, you've got the fact cups are there showing that this is an emotion. So they like you. So emotions here, not thoughts. So what do they think about me? You'd have to say, actually, I'm not really able to answer that, because I can tell you how they feel. And that's where you actually crack it and go, yeah, oh, but I want to know what they think. You then look into further down the line and find out a little bit more about that person. Who do you want to know about? My boss. We go for the Emperor. She's the boss. Or their star sign. My boss is a Leo. So you'd look in the house of Leo. You'd look for the Leo cards. And it should be all out on the table before you start. If you are looking to be confident as a professional reader, to be able to say, I'm stabilized with what I'm saying. Two of Cups, friendships. Yeah. People talk about soulmates. I'm not a great believer in making too much emphasis on that because I think that we are all capable of loving many people in many different ways. And what I mean by that is sometimes when we are young, we fall for someone and then we grow apart because our life takes us in different directions. Or sometimes tragedies happen and things get in the way and people leave, either physically or they leave the planet, and you're not just stuck in pain, pining for one person. I really do believe that. Soulmate is a lovely way of actually going, my best friend. Please don't pay too much heed to the fact that there is only one person for us all, because some people really believe that, but I think it can be very, very restricting as a reader to suggest that to a client. And I would ask you to consider their feelings and the fact that it's very hard to unhear something that a reader has said. I know because I used to be unpicking someone else's readings all the time. Now, I didn't go in and go, oh, they must have meant this, that, and the other. I go, I heard you. And we're going to take a fresh look at this. Let's look at what we get today with this spread, with these cards in answer to your question. And I'm terribly sorry that you were told that, but I'd like you to focus now and see what your reading says. Things can change. And to be very empathetic with your client. Why? They're going to hang on your every word. And that's a responsibility. And that's what puts new readers off, because they are armed with the little white book or the course, and they don't know how to actually bring it all together. And with most things, you would probably have somebody at work holding you by the hand, helping you along, and actually encouraging you and giving you words of praise and wisdom, or here it is, let me show you. I'm happy to do that for you. Now, would you like to have a go? Or, you know what, I think you can do it, and I'll stand here and make sure that you've got my support. Well done, you're doing it. You know, it's the same with tarot readings, and that is how I used to run my platform, by actually helping my readers through times of it's not just the information of the cards, but they would be putting out 3 cards and going and getting really stuck. And it's no wonder I put 44 out. There's so much information. And how about using this? There you go. Let's flick through and go. We did the 5 of Swords. Let's do the 5 of Cups. What do people at work think of me? They value you, but they are a little bit disappointed. They have seen potential, and they do feel it from you. But there has been disappointments, and it's based upon a history. And why are we getting that? The 3 of Cups are showing spilt milk, disappointments in the past. And those people are dwelling on, but they're also quite prepared to look at the other 2 cups and the capabilities emotionally that they feel from you. And they do value you. They do like you. They want to like you. They feel a bit disappointed, maybe a bit hurt. They like you. There's growth here. It's up to you. This is all about feelings. All right. There's an interesting one. The Empress and the 8 of Cups. Okay. What do other people think about me at work? They like you. They really do. But no matter how much they like you, they've got to go off and do their own thing. And there's a feeling with the 8 of Cups that you're leaving behind somebody you like, the Empress, you. And their feelings are they're coming back, but they've got to go and do their own thing. So maybe they're actually thinking, I really like being around you, but I've got to stand up on my own 2 feet. Maybe what you have given to that person is so valuable in your friendship, at work, in your productivity, in what you've created for them, and on what's come to pass, that they feel capable of letting go of the reins. That's quite a beautiful combination. Instead of thinking, oh, they want to walk away from me. They want to walk away from you because you've nurtured them into a sense of being independent. It's rather beautiful. The Ace of Wands, what do they think of me at work? They really like the actions that you're doing. and they feel that you create new beginnings for other people. This also is blessed with new opportunities. Is it promotion? I wouldn't say the Ace of Wands is a promotional card. It could be, but I wouldn't say it is. I think that's much more the Six of Wands, which we can cover if we get time. But Ace of Wands is, they really think there's growth in you and they'd like to offer you a new opportunity. And with that new opportunity, there is plenty of growth. Ace of Wands is always representing a job offer, particularly if it's been asked in a career reading. If it's in a romantic or emotional, it means their actions. So it means whether or not they will do what they say they are going to do. Yeah? So, do they value you? Yes, they really do. You're a person of action. You get things done. You create new beginnings. You are somebody that gets things off the ground. You make things happen. So you really are valued. Beautiful combination there. What do they think of me at work? All right, we get the Empress. They value you, but there's a gap in the relationship. Yeah? In the actions, they need to be independent from you. You may be nurturing them and helping them beautifully, and they really appreciate it. But they need to stand up for themselves and do a little bit of growth. And they really have valued you. And your actions have very much been heartfelt. Why? Because I explained earlier, if we were looking at this as in the person is asking about work, and if we were looking at this and the person is asking about influences of others and their thoughts and feelings about the person, we've made it a question, and I'm telling you that this is what this pair would represent if you drew that in that particular position. Now, obviously, if it was in a different position of that of the self, it's not about what other people are thinking. It's about what you, and there are different positions of you as well in my spread, and that is the physical, the intellectual, the emotional, and the spiritual, and it goes on and on. So it's a wonderful spread because once you've got it out, you can say, I am not answering questions on the usual, pregnancy, legal, those kind of things. And people ask for all sorts of mumbo jumbo sometimes. Sorry, I've never heard of that and I don't know what you're talking about. Don't be scared to value yourself like the Empress and go, I don't do that. I'd have people going, oh, you're psychic. We're all psychic. I use that muscle a lot more perhaps than other people due to the tarot cards and the interests that I have. So of course it's going to be used more and it's strengthened more because of its use. Yes, it's there. And yes, there was something that made me go, yeah, there's something going on with me and I really need to get control of it. So I tried lots of things and my favorite was the tarot and a little bit of astrology. And yes, crystals and all the rest of it. I still use all of it. I encompass all of it. It all comes together. I weave it all together. Yes, these kind of things are very important that you feel that you are valuing yourself as a reader to be able to say, yes, I am. But do you mean, am I talking to spirit? Am I clairvoyant, audience? Am I a medium? And that's where you would have to actually give your own personal answers. And I have always said, no, I'm none of those. But I realize that I'm probably a mixture of a lot of that. And I've trained in all of that, but I don't focus on it. So I'd always say to somebody to incorporate most of that. But really, I would like to say to you, I'm a tarot reader, and that is my forte, and that's my speciality. So we'll be looking at almost a blueprint of your life, which is a real privilege for me as a reader to look at. So I thank you very much for that. Do you want to have the reader, or would you prefer to choose another reader? Always feel that you can say that, and that's the Empress. Straight away, they like your honesty, you're warm, you're not preaching, you are just giving them the choice. And sometimes it's, oh gosh, I really wanted a medium. It's not going to be me, darling. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to get enough for you. Let's just say, I really wish you well, and good luck with finding your answers from a medium. But I'm not going to say that I am one. even though I sometimes get bits of information, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that's what I do. There's an example. I'm not saying you say that. What I'm saying is just feel that you can say your authentic self and your limits. You might want to say, oh gosh, I've been doing this for a very long time, but it's the first time I've actually done a show, or the first time I've done an email reading. Forgive me, I'm learning the ropes of how it works on this platform, or first time I've done it online. I normally do it face to face, and normally somebody shuffles. Don't be afraid to actually just say, this is who I am, very briefly, and they'll either love you and say, gosh, no thanks, in which case you're not wasting your time or theirs, and you're not getting that awful feeling of, oh, crikey, it's put me right off. Just don't want to get to that point. I know what it's like. I picked up so many readers off the floor going, I don't want to do it anymore. Oh, they said this, they said that. And it's like you are in control. So be the empress of your own readings, value yourself, nurture yourself, believe in yourself, respect yourself, know that you have growth, know that developing anything is continual education and growth. You're not meant to know it all, but what you can say is, I don't know that, but I'm sure you'll find someone that can answer it. And they might go, I don't care, I was just curious, I don't mind at all, please read for me. Then you're both comfortable. So it's more than just giving readings, it's a connection. You've got to have a connection with somebody. And I don't mean, well, I'm tuned in. I just mean you need to feel valued and you need to value yourself. And people are very nervous when they come to someone for a reading. And of course they might say, well, you're the psychic, you should know. What do the cards say? We've heard it all. We've all heard it. And it's, which question? You should know. And it's, I don't tune into the whole of your life, and I really wouldn't feel comfortable with knowing your thoughts and your private life. It's probably a good idea in the time we've got together, if you give me a heads up of what you'd like me to look at in the short time that we've got for this reading. Even if it's now, it's a short snapshot of their life. Life goes on. There's all sorts of background effect. Yeah, it's important that you feel that you're in control. So I've put up the Empress and the Four of Wands. What do people think about this lady or this gentleman at work? They are valued. They see you as a very, very stable character. They feel that there's some really good foundations to the actions. Actions. Why am I saying actions? Ones. They like you. Why am I saying feelings and what they feel about you? That's a little bit to do with the Empress. Valuing you. They're attracted to your energy. They're attracted to you because you get things done and you consolidate them, and you're a secure person, and you're very grounded, and you're very capable, and you work well in a team, and things build. So this would be fantastic if you got this as a combination. What do they feel about you? That could only come from the position that I've suggested, which would be the influences of others. And there's no way I can show you the spread and what everything means on this platform. So if you're interested in that, do go and pop onto my website, Tarot with Anne-Marie. Please use your cards because it will make you feel, it's a bit like we all need to be able to feel that we have some solid sort of foundations, just like the Four of Wands, knowing, and it's not just learning the meaning of the cards, it's being able to learn how to combine cards so that you are able, and I don't like to use the word to put the story together, but it isn't that, the story of that person's life. What's the current sort of vibe? What's going on in that person's life? If they carry on with the current circumstances and the background effects involved, what's the likely outcome as things stand at the moment? If we take a glance as far ahead into the distance as we can. And that's why I say you're able to look at your spread and go, this looks like it's actually growing here. Say the Ace of Wands was an opportunity earlier on. And then further down the line in the reading, we can actually see that maybe this person starts appearing in a certain position in work, which would be the sixth house in the spread that I use. And you can see that person is capable of leading other people, of having authority, and maybe the Four of Wands comes up and says, yeah, they absolutely feel grounded. That person has acted in a manner that shows that they have actualized what it's like to lead people. It's not, I think, I feel, it's they've done it. So that's what the Wands are all about. Let's move on to Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. This is a card, when fused with the Empress, of being valued by other team members. The Three of Pentacles is always a card of working with teams. And if you look at the Three of Pentacles there, you can see the three different characters. There's a figure standing on the bench that looks like they are the one that's the stonemason, the artisan that's able to carve out that beautiful, intricate sort of stonework that you can see. It looks as if we've got somebody dressed in finery that would suggest that this person is professional and maybe an architect, or maybe the person that's looking at the plans that supported the project financially. And then we have what looks like a member of the religious order, which represents authority. It doesn't necessarily have to be that it's religious, it's just symbolic. People in authority, people professional capacity, maybe the injection of cash here, and maybe the person that's actually got all the skill. Combined, what have they done? They've managed to put something rather good together. And the Empress is being valued. What do they think of me at work? Everybody loves you. From the boss to the person that probably opens the door or the mail or makes the tea, or maybe the person that actually escorts you to work on your journey, as in by travel to work. It just means that any connections with work, everything, you are valued. I think that's what the tarot does. It gives us impartial advice. And that's why, as a reader, it's lovely to be able to fuse this together and not tell people what to do. We're not there to tell people what to do. That's up to them. That's their journey, isn't it? So that's where you can put that heavy sense of responsibility. As long as you can actually give them everything that you feel has fused together in the reading, so that they have maybe lots of different paths ahead of them, then they are in a position to be able to really make those choices based on what they know from the reading and the background effects and loads more that I haven't mentioned tonight. Of course not. I can't teach you a course here. How about this? This is a little worksheet that you're very welcome to download from the website. And it's got lots and lots of information, very quickly, bullet points, highlighting what the cards actually mean. If you want to get that, that's on my website. And it's a very cheap one if you want to actually just have something to look at. So you're very welcome to do that. The Empress has been wonderful and full of pearls of wisdom. So we'll be looking at the real description and symbology connected with the Emperor on Thursday. So I really would advise you not to miss that one, because if the Empress is the mummy of the tarot, the Emperor is the daddy, and there's so much more information that I can give you in our class on Thursday. And then we'll be looking next Tuesday at combining what we've learned about the Emperor with the minor cards and how it can help you work out the things that I've told you about that card, the meanings, and how it can apply and how different it can actually be. So if you want to actually use this method, do go onto my website. I will go straight into playing us out, and I'll see you Thursday at 5. Thanks for having me. Bye for now.